It came out. I'm like, hey, if I was the one at that back, I would have flown outside. But the one that bust my head, how much is one night? The audacity that the modern men have. Said they can't give you an apartment because you are not coming with a man. Would my trip be complete without giving you the cultural shocks I experienced while I visited the northern part of Nigeria? Because yeah, in one hand, I am Nigerian from the eastern part in my country, the eastern part of Nigeria. But then, I've been living in Abuja for quite some time. But I have never really taken a trip down to other northern parts of the country. So I decided to start with one by visiting Kaduna, which is very close to Abuja. And I must tell you that I was welcomed with a lot of shock. The first word on my list is the audacity that the northern men have. I will not say northern, I will say maybe Kaduna, maybe just Kaduna. But these men, most of these men, they are audacious. Let me explain. You just have somebody just walk up to you, you know, oh God. So let me first explain. Let me start with this. First of all, when we got into Kaduna and I was going with a content creator friend, right? So we were going to this Kaduna, right? And then when we got there, she had already gone to Kaduna before. So she wanted us to use this space where the accommodation she used the last time she visited. So, but she told me that they asked her the first time that they didn't want to give her the apartment because where she would stay for the time being in Kaduna, she creates her content, because they said that they don't give apartments or places to women without a guy. So I thought she was joking, right? I thought she wasn't being serious until I got to Kaduna myself and I began to see some things that were very, very different from what I know. So she said that, oh, they told her that if she wasn't coming with a guy, if you have not seen that video, you can watch here my visit to Kaduna, because I visited Kaduna 5 days. I stayed in Kaduna for 5 days, and I can tell you that I did experience some major culture shock. I don't understand, how don't you give an apartment to a lady because she doesn't come with a man? Not because she cannot pay. I can afford to pay for my place, but you wouldn't give it to me because I'm not coming with a guy. It doesn't really make sense to me. But I noticed that maybe it's mostly for these guest house, because the other one she went to I believe it was a guest house. She went to 2 or 3 different places before they agreed for her staying in their apartments, like in their lodge. Before they agreed, she had to visit 3 places. They had the same complaints that they can't give it to her because she wasn't coming with a man. I'm wondering, tell me if you're from Kaduna, or I just want to know if you're Nigerian, if this is normal, because me, I'm a Nigerian. I find it so absurd. Like, why would you give it? Like, is there something that you don't know of? Because I try to ask, why is that the reason? And nobody's saying anything, like giving an answer that I really makes sense. You understand? They say, oh, it's just, that's how they just operate. That's how they just operate. Why? Is it that there's something that happened in the past or something? So, but that shocked me. That's like really shocked me. Another one is how men are audacious. That same evening we got into Kaduna, we went to go and have dinner. So we went to do like some meshai. You know what meshai? Meshai is like, it's tea seller. So we wanted to have like bread, tea, or just something that we could eat for the night before starting our day, while we came to Kaduna the next day. And tell me why, when we're done, we even found like at the spot where we were eating, because we did street food, there were these men that were sitting out there. They, started talking to us, like we're laughing. We said, okay, fine. At the beginning, I was like, I'm always like very guarded up, like putting so my other friend was like talking to them and everything, my creator friend. And then I was just like, okay, fine, like let's talk about like the weather, Nigeria, blah blah. So afterwards, after we were done, the men were like trying to like can you get my number? I'm like, no, I don't understand. Do you understand? That's just by the way, that's just by the way. And even some, they were not even scared. I was wearing a ring, right? And I was like, look, it's not here today. I think I have it in my purse. Like, I'm not, look, I'm engaged. And then they said that, oh, they don't mind. And like, apparently this is not working. And I bought it on purpose because I need it for my trip as a single lady traveling around Africa, traveling different places. And I saw that it wasn't very working. And where in the northern part of Nigeria, getting married to one person is not, getting married to more than one person is normal. It's considered very normal. If somebody is already married, do you understand me? Even using that as a boundary wasn't really even working. But the one that bust my head, the one that bust my bubble, guys, is when we were on our way going back home. And we used a bike to go to the house, because we had a tour guide who had just directed us how we should go back to the house. So only for me to discover that there was someone else following us. I'm not even joking. someone was following us, and I was telling my creator friend, like, Faith is her name, so I was saying, Faith, there's someone following us. Faith was like, I beg, like, maybe the person is just going almost the same direction. Is a coincidence. Then immediately our bike stopped, the other bike too stops, because this person is on the bike too. And like, hey God, my flight and fear, this thing was active. I was just like, should I run? But the road is busy. It's late at night and there is no street light like that at the part where we're in. So how do we do this? So Anfred was just like, oh, like, I think she was just thinking like, why am I being dramatic? Guess what? The guy that was on the bike, on this bike, that entered the second bike, comes towards us and says he wants to speak to Faith. Faith then goes and he's like asking her, how much is one night? See, where did he come from? It wasn't someone we spoke to before. We don't even know him. But I think that while we were there trying to order food and everything, he was watching somewhere and was watching our movements. Because that is so scary to me. Because what if the guy was even a lot more dangerous than, okay, what if she didn't agree? Like, I've heard stories about how things ended up for women like that. What if she didn't agree? What if he had like something dangerous in his... Because it was so dark there was no light. I was just like, I saw Faith. I think she just said no, thank you, and I saw her run across the road, right? I even told her that you didn't even look well on the road, because I'm sure like she was so like flabbergasted, like what just happened right now? Where is the audacity where? Because now when I was just thinking about it, like how, you understand? And the only thing that came to my mind is like, okay, it has to be like this is something that happens here for someone to like have that mind to just walk up to anybody and just ask them for a nightstand. Are you... Hey God. So I don't know if it's like a normal practice. And I was shocked because I'm going to a northern part of Nigeria. There's the southern part of Kaduna and the northern part of Kaduna. We were staying in the northern part of Kaduna, which I got to discover later. So I was even more shocked. Like, I'm not saying that the southern part of Kaduna is expected of them, but I know the north to always be like very discreet and stuff like. So like I wasn't expecting that. In fact, like that blew my mind, and I'm telling you, that was one of my major shocks. Like I came to Kaduna and I was like, what is going on here? So the third one is the language, right? I'm sure that if you always wanted to learn Hausa, like someone like me, I always said, I'll learn Hausa language, but I never did. But I believe that if you move to places like Kaduna, outside Abuja, move to other part of it, you'll be forced to speak Hausa language or learn Hausa language. Why? Because a lot of people don't know how to speak the Hausa language, right? Especially the people that you're going to meet with in the market, like maybe you're talking to the bike man, or you're talking to, like, for instance, I went to a restaurant, right? It's a local restaurant, but like I see like middlemen class, rich people go there as well, because it's like northern, like you sit on the floor, like how they eat there. And the people that we're speaking to, they couldn't speak English. They were speaking Hausa back to us, like, so we had to have, thankfully for our local guide, we were able to speak. But I'm like, okay, if I'm here and I hear conversations, like when I'm speaking to people, they immediately switch to Hausa, to maybe they start speaking Hausa language, and then I tell them I don't speak. They say, you have to know how to speak. Like it's like a taboo. Like I've gotten that from 2-3 people. I read that Kaduna is more like, you have the southern part, so people are more expressive, like Christians and stuff. Like, what do you mean you don't know how to speak? No, you have to learn how to speak. Why we say you don't know how to speak outside? And a lot of people say it's a simple language. Why we say you need to learn how to speak that language? What do you mean you can't speak outside language? No, please. So that's another one for me, like, because you'd have to speak out, so you'd have to learn how to speak the language. If not, you just be clueless. There will be some language barrier there. So, and I'm not sure you enjoy your stay like that. So thankfully we had because you want to speak to market women, you want to speak to like different people there, you have to learn how to speak the language. I remember visiting the castle. If I've not seen that video, see it here or here. So, and the caretaker there and the manager, the caretaker in the place answer plainly. So imagine, like, and we had to beg. Imagine if we didn't have a tour guide. There was not even way we could have seen that. The fourth one for me was like in the bus when we're going, like I would say that whenever we are going to like somewhere far, for instance, like we're going to another path in Kaduna and maybe it's like 2-3 hours away, I see that most people would say, oh, let's pray. And I find that to be I like that, but I find that to be very shocking, because I'd never expected that, okay, I will hear people praying, like Christians, okay, let's pray, and everybody prays in the bus, like freely like that. Because that's why I'm so glad that I went to the north, because what I mentioned about the northern part, so why I even noticed that's shocking, because the contrast, moving from Abuja to Kaduna, when I was going through the road, nobody even say let's pray. So I was quite surprised. Moving from Abuja to Kaduna, the contrast, nobody, like I didn't even hear anything like let's pray and stuff like that. But inside Kaduna, the road trips I took, like from this place to Kajuru, from that place to Kafanchan, they were like, let's pray. I don't know if it's because of, things like insecurity in the past, but even from Abuja to Kaduna safe, not everybody can take that job because of issues and things that have happened in the past. So I found that to be very cultural shock. It's like everybody can do your own thing. You're a Southern, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim, you do your thing. My fifth one that shocked me, it's not a cultural shock, but a lot of places that are similar, like names of towns and cities in Kaduna, are similar to what you find in Abuja. Like I heard places like Maraba and so many other places too that are familiar, that you find like names of places in Abuja, you also find in Kaduna. I found that to be very interesting. Like, how do they come about these names? It's like, is somebody's name that named the place, or how do you come about places having the same name wherever you go to in another town? You now have like similar names of towns or cities. Is it the sixth one now? Is that Northerners eat a lot of sweets. Oh my God, sweets! They like their sweets like cray. What are you talking about? Like everywhere I go, I found like some sweet candies and sweets like snacks that I've never had before in my life. I've never had them before in my life. I've never imagined them. One was milk balls, like milk balls that was fried milk balls. Or is it the milk candies that they make themselves? They're selling it everywhere. In the restaurants, in different places, they're selling milk candies everywhere. I was surprised. Pleasantly surprised about like how sweet. There's even one I found on the road, the eyes like pink. It's also another type of candies. And I feel like Northerners have like a sweet tooth. To me, more than other parts in Nigeria, they have like really sweet tooth. Everything sweet, different type of sweet that they make themselves. Like interesting. There's even one I had wheat and it's called one name, Akakli. I'll put it here if I still have the video of it. I was blown. Like different things. Northerners are very innovative with like creating things with their hands and just making them. So speaking about candies and food, I find their food to be very cheap. Ooh, another thing, it was the good roads. I don't know why I was shocked. It's not a cultural shock, but I had one rice, like jollof rice, fried rice and meat for 1,300. That same portion of food, like outside of Kaduna in Abuja or this thing, you get it for like 4,000. I got it for 1,300. There was another time safe, we also ordered their northern food, like tuwo, shikanfa, and one soup like this, 2,000 naira. If you see the portion, I'm like, the food is so cheap and massive. Like the portion is always massive. So yeah, I find the portions to be massive and the food is very cheap too. So I feel like even when we went to the market, if you see the quantity they gave us for tomatoes and the quantity they gave us for pepper for 200 naira, pepper 200 naira, if you see the quantity, food is cheap there. Food is very cheap, and I want to believe that maybe because there's farming, people farm more there and land for grazing and all that. So I find food to be very cheap there. Good roads. If you see the roads, I have a friend from Kaduna and I keep saying, why did she not sell Kaduna? Not like she has to sell Kaduna to me, but you know, like when I go to on the news and I type Kaduna or a northern country, you're not seeing good roads, you're not seeing like the beauties of the place. They're talking about something that is happening, something bad, something evil that is happening. But while those things exist too, I believe that the other part of it can also coexist. The roads are even better than most places I've been to. Even the roads from Abuja into Kaduna, very clean, very cool. We didn't encounter bad roads. I was amazed. The last one is the sitting position inside the car. You know, before going to the northern part of Nigeria, I used to hear that you expect anything, you can find anything inside the car. If you're going with a public transport, you can find anything inside the car. Like they can put goats with you, human beings and goats inside the same car. You can see chicken. The other time it was chicken when we were going to a fowl inside this thing, and the fowl, it was inside it. They said it will not come out. I was sitting at the back, so I said, I beg, I cannot sit at the back, so let me come to the front. Do you know that fowl came out of the thing that they tied it in? It came out. I'm like, hey, if I was the one at that back, I would have flown outside. Like, don't even joke with me. Like, I only eat you when you are cool. That's it. That's the only relationship I have with you. Now, the one that even shocked me is like how many people that were sitting down in the front. I know, like normally from Abuja, I've seen that 2 people sit down in the front seat, which is not normal or proper. I don't see that anywhere else aside Abuja. But when I got into the north, it was not just in the front. 2 people sit down by the driver's seat too. The driver's seat and the other seat. Hey. When I saw that one, I said, okay, I don't see how. I hear people talking about it and people taking pictures of, okay, see, I think I've seen it in the past also, but seeing it in real life, nothing compares to that. Nothing compares to that. Another thing that I noticed, which is cultural shock to me, is like the bicycles. They use a lot of bicycles. The men, like you see people on bicycles, like your normal transportation. Bicycles, men, small people, old people. Speaking of small people, like young people, old people. Speaking of young people, I saw young people riding keke. I'm telling you that when I'm saying young, this person is not past 10 years. What are you talking about? They're riding keke 10, 12 years. I'm like, why? How? Like I think I took a video of one. If I see her habit, I'll put it here. I was so like, this cannot happen anywhere. That was very shocking. So, and bicycles, you see like old men riding bicycles. Zaire reminds me of something Asian. It was so beautiful to see, like something that you see only in TV, like when they're saying, oh, in the 1990s, like that gives you that sense of like you see just people driving their bicycle, a way of transportation. Everybody is living their life, stuff like that. Whew, those were things that shocked me. They interested me, not like shocked totally negatively, except for the first two that was like, hello. But the other ones were, okay, this is interesting, that kind of thing. So that's my cultural shock so far, since I got to in my 5-day trip to northern Nigeria. So if you have any other one, let me know in the comment section. This comes to the end of my video, and like this video if you enjoyed watching. Let me know your own cultural shocks too. It can't just be only me. Maybe in the north, in the east, in the west, anyone that you just visited for the first time in the recent years, or like before, or your first time in those places. Let me know in the comment section. And until next time, stay blessed and watch out for more videos as we start out a new series on the channel. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait for you to see it, but it's coming. All right, bye.